What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Salty Runback, here to be your weekly intake of North American Developmental League of Legends. It is our midweek episode here as we are continuing our way throughout the drought of February of League of Legends. Thankfully, there's some stuff going on this week, most notably the CELO games that we talked about, as well as Polestar streaming their first games against the Doublelift NA squad. And speaking of that team, we're going to be talking to their support Cryogen here in this midweek episode. My name is Grapes, joined alongside Hawk. Hawk, how are you doing today?
Grapes, I'm doing all right. We, to this point, have watched Pulse take 3 games off a Doublelift squad. It looked pretty damn good. Cryo just played like one of the most unhinged games of Lulu I think I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it's awesome, man. This Polestar team looking good.
They are so far. So right now we were streaming this these scrims on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/SaltyRunbackNA. Give us a follow there if you haven't yet. And we are currently here recording between games 3 and 4 for this eventual interview that will be happening after the streams are over. So a little bit of jumping around in time, but right now Polestar are up 3-0 in the scrim set, and they've looked very good against the Near Airport, I think is what they're going to be called, or the Unction Junction. I feel like there's a little bit of debate or splitting up between what
they gotta pick one, man. They gotta pick one.
But this is the best 3-game start of a scrim set for any amateur team so far against the Doublelift team, which I guess, given expectations going in, like makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they Pulses looked good, and I mean, I do think they've seemed to be playing to win a little bit, but it's definitely great to see. Just like high quality gameplay. I feel like Doublelift team, not really sure what exactly like their goals and their growth pattern is going to be, but that's neither here nor there, because Grapes, this is definitely much more of a Polestar centric episode, kind of hyping up what is both the newest and most exciting roster in the NACL.
And the youngest player that's currently signed to an NACL team. So we're going to get to that interview here with Cryogen, but before we do so, make sure to like, subscribe to the video, leave a comment, and here's the interview with Cryogen. Hey everyone, before the interview starts, quick apology. I did accidentally mess some settings up in our OBS when recording Cryogen's audio, so you'll be hearing him a little bit double. Tried my best to negate those settings, and we'll make sure that doesn't happen again in the future. But while you're here, subscribe to our Patreon account as well. We have 3 new shows coming out this week. You're not going to want to miss any of them. You can subscribe down below using the link in our description, patreon.com/SaltyRunbackNA, to get access to all of those shows coming out, exclusive content for you every week. On with the interview. We are here with one of the newest players in the NA Challengers League and the youngest player currently signed to a team, and that is Cryogen, this new support for Polestar. And we are coming right off of their first scrims that have been streamed against, of course, the famous stream team, the Doublelift team, whatever you want to call it. Actually coming right off of that. So first question is, Cryogen, how are you feeling after that set?
I'm kind of exhausted, but I mean, it was pretty fun for the most part. Just like trying to get used to like scrimming again, like 5 hours consecutively. Just like it's tiring, but it's worth it.
I feel like a lot of times, like in tier 3 and things like that, like you'll go with 3 blocks. How familiar are you with like playing 5 games at a time in a row like that?
We've been I think we've been scrimming for like quite a long time now.
Okay.
But most of our scrims, I say, were like, I think like half of them are like 3 blocks, and like half of them are like 5 blocks. But I'm like, it's like starting to ease in a bit more, and like the familiarity with like scrimming 5 hours and like just 5 games back to back. It's like really tiring, and it requires a lot of endurance. But like, it's like I'm starting to get used to it more.
Yeah, well, you guys did pretty well. It was the first time that like us, the public, have gotten to see Polestar play, and looked pretty good. You guys went 4-1 against this team. That's actually the best record that they have given up so far, so congratulations on that. Saw a lot of your like trademark playstyle, which I feel like at this point is like being a very aggressive, hyper-aggressive player. Do you feel like you played well in this series, or were there some mistakes that you wish you cleared up a little bit?
I mean, I definitely deserve to get banned for some of the games I played. Like my first game, I think I ran down pretty hard, but yeah, it's first game.
Yeah, we saw the KDA on the Leona wasn't looking too good, but
yeah, same thing with the wrong game I played. Yeah, the wrong game I played was also pretty disgusting.
I saw you were worth 100 gold at some point, so you hit the absolute floor. So
I definitely deserve to be banned for those games, but I think the majority, like the other games, I think I played pretty well. Definitely a lot of things I need to touch up on like during like mid game, and like yeah, I'd say I'm pretty aggressive, but a lot of the times my teammates will just like yell at me to hold me back. They'll be like I'm calling for something, and then they just went and like I'm just like too hyper fixated on like doing something, but in reality is like a better play. So like I have to hold myself back a lot of the times.
Got it. This is really off topic, really quick, but do they call you like Cryogen, or do they call you something else, or what are your teammates kind of call you in game?
They call me Michael, my first name,
Michael. Okay.
and then sometimes they'll just ask for like, can Sport be here, or like, can my champion be here, like Leo and Alistar.
Okay.
etc.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we were talking about it on the stream, but like my name, or like as a caster, having to cast both a team with both Cryra and Cryogen, we were just saying it's gonna like make our lives miserable. So I was wondering if you guys had any trouble with that, but it looks like you've settled it out by calling you on your first name basis. So.
Yeah, they like it's like a joke. It's like cryogen is what they call us sometimes.
Cryogen,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
But
you guys, well, before we get into this a little bit further, or I guess kind of speaking of like playing against these legends or these like old time players, like I know you're one of the younger players here. You just turned 18. Like when did you first get into playing League of Legends, and did you watch Doublelift and Biofrost growing up, or was that kind of even before your time, before you started playing?
I started playing, I think it was like 10 years ago.
No way, really?
Yeah, I think I was playing when I was like seven, so like 11 years actually.
Oh my gosh.
I think
So you
my
might-
brother introduced me to the game. Yeah.
So you might have played. You're playing this game longer than I've been playing this game.
Yeah, I've been on this game pretty much like growing up. I remember like I used to play like I used to play like all those like flashy champions like Riven Yasuo. And I remember like the first time I ever played, I was like so happy. Think like growing up, I think I watched Doublelift a lot, but not really Biofrost. I don't think. I was like, because like I think at the time I was finding sport gameplay really boring, and like not being able to like just watch it, because I used to be like really flashy and like play with the champions, but like nowadays I watch a lot of like support streams, to be honest, because like it's just what I find entertaining nowadays. I guess. So yeah.
So you were around that time when like Doublelift, Pobelter, Jensen, Biofrost, like they were all popping off in esports. Like,
Yeah.
I guess the question is like for you, what was it like kind of being in a lobby with those guys? Obviously you like ran into them in solo queue and things like that, but just knowing you're playing like a competitive game against some of these guys who have like been legends in NA for a while, did that hit you at all, or were you not really an esports fan growing up?
Maybe I did watch like some esports, like some tier one, not really academy. A lot of tier one I watched. I remember like those like Immortal days and like what was it, Dig, Fly, like all those old LCS teams I watched.
Yeah.
But like when I was in lobby with them, I was like, I think like maybe first game, because like it wasn't really because of them. I think it was because like it was just like streaming to like a much larger audience. I wasn't like really set in like the first game, but then afterwards I kind of just like dialed in. So it just felt a lot easier to play. Yeah.
So that's why the KDA on the Leona wasn't that good in the first
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
I have no excuse for the Braum game though, but yeah, that Leona game, that's what happened.
You know what? Yeah, you were trying to make plays happen, so I can respect that at least. But you said you had some older siblings. Did they get you into playing League or just playing games in general?
Yeah, my brother got me into playing the game. I think we were playing a lot together, and then now I think he's goodness, I don't want to say this. I think he's like 24 now. I think. So he's like
Don't
6
wanna
years
say,
older than me.
I'm like pretty close to that, so you know, 24 is a perfectly fine age.
No, I just didn't want to forget how old he was. You know.
Right.
But yeah, we got into the game together. I think I definitely liked the game a lot more than he did at the time. And like, I guess it shows now, because now he's just like, he doesn't really play. He's like too busy for it, and like if he does play, he only plays like TFT. So.
Got it. Did he ever get to like a higher rank or something like that, or you kind of outpaced him pretty quick?
No, I outpaced him pretty quick. I think he like hit like gold. Yeah.
All right.
But he's really supportive.
That's awesome to have like that support system. I feel like that's like kind of a general trend throughout both like professionals, athletes and stuff. Like a lot of the a lot of like the best like NBA players, MLB players, like they have like older siblings that like help drive them. And I feel like we see the same thing in esports as well. So that's That's really cool that you have a lot of support from your family like that. So
Yeah, it's great to have support like that.
yeah, and I think you're one of the only because you're I think one of the youngest players in the NACL this year. You're still like in high school right now, right? You're completing
Hmm.
your senior year, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
I'm just curious right now because I have a younger sister that's in the same grade as you actually, and when I talk to her about like what like gaming is like in that ecosystem, she says that like in the high school that I went to and the high school that she goes to right now, League of Legends like is not very popular at all. There's not a lot of people who play League, but when I was in high school, like a lot of people were playing League, and there's always that conversation like, oh, esports is dying and things like that. Do you feel like that kind of speaks to you at all, or are there a lot of kids in your school that play League, or do you kind of feel like you're one of the only people that do?
My team has like an esports team.
Oh,
I think I
really? Cool.
played for them like all 3 years except for this year. I think we went like runner up last year. But it was like the league is not like really like that competitive. It's just like I don't really like I don't know, it's not like too serious, I guess. I think nowadays I think like esports is like people find it like really like weird. And like it's like kinda it's like looked down upon in high school and like school in general. Like people find it like nerdy, I guess, and like you're kind of like weird if you do that. And this is like that's like my school at least.
Hmm.
I think like people don't really consider it a sport and like something like too serious. But I mean, to be fair, like the esports team at my school now, we have like I think we have like Rocket League and like Smash League Two. I think we're having like a rivals team as well.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah, I mean like to be honest, I think like the esports team is like more successful than any other sports at my team, so or at my school. So
Yeah, that my school was pretty Asian as well, so we had
mhm.
some good gamers and our sports teams were never very good as well.
Yeah.
Um, but do you have a lot of, would you say League is one of like the bigger games or one of the more popular games amongst like kids at your school? Or do you feel like, my sister was saying like things like Fortnite and Valorant are really taking over. Does that kind of resonate with you at all as well?
I think at my school it's mostly like Switch games, like Nintendo Switch games like Smash and like Splatoon. I think Rocket League is like more popular than League. I feel like whenever I bring up League to someone, there's like, ew. They're like, nah. And then like Valorant's pretty popular too, but like Valorant is like the same thing as League. It's just like people don't find it like too like cool, I guess, or
Interesting.
something like
Okay.
that.
So nobody's
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God, you're like 1,000 LP challenger. Like that's so awesome."
Oh
Nobody
no, I
calls
mean
you out.
I got well, some of my friends find it cool, and like some
Okay.
people. I remember like I was sitting in class one day, and this guy randomly walked up to me and was like, "Oh, are you this guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess that's
Damn,
me."
yo, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, but I have like friends that play League, and like they find it pretty cool. So
All right, nice. So it's not totally dying in the younger
no.
space. Okay, that's good to know because I feel like a lot of people are always talking about like, oh, esports is dying, League is dying, but at least like you got some friends in at your school that play, and it seems like it's at least still going a little bit over there. So
Yeah,
that's good to know.
like a lot of the Asians at my school actually like find it cool that I'm pretty good at League.
Nice.
I think like yeah.
You know what? That's the same in my school too. I think I just had like wait, we just had like too many Koreans at our school. I think, which is why
Yeah.
I have like, a skewed vision of it. But what was the first year you hit Challenger?
I think I hit it last year or 2 years ago. 2 years ago. When I was 16. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
2 years ago.
at that point, were you considering like, oh, I could do something with this. I want to play competitively, or were you playing in amateur leagues like before then, or what was your journey to try and give this competitive League of Legends thing a shot?
So I started out playing mid lane. I think I was like a disgusting auction player, like
Oh,
Silas
okay.
player. Yeah, they had like
That's so
400,
different
and
than
then
like
like
switching over to support.
it really is. It was like it hit me at first, and then like I was like I hit like 400 OP, like plateaus really hard at mid, and then I just real swapped, and the next thing support, I'm like, wow, this thing's really easy actually. It's really easy. And so like I hit like 1K for the first time, and then like I think I was like 1300 back then, which was like top 30, I think, top 30 around there at that time. And then I was playing in like a tier. I don't remember. I don't know what tier it is. It was like I think it was like Risen League I was playing in.
Hmm.
It was I remember like playing against like UCI and well, that's all I remember. But I was playing on like one of those teams, like an amateur team, I guess. And I was getting coached. I think like my coach at the time really helped me like get into competitive because he really like supported me because he's like I'm really young and like there's not a lot of good supports in NA, and then like support is also like one of those roles that's like not too difficult compared to the others.
Yeah.
And so he just pushed me, and like every day we worked together, he would like get together my like solo queue routine and like just like what I should be doing, what should I be playing, and we would like moderate a lot. And so like from that, I got like introduced into like OQs, and I was playing. I was like playing a lot of combines mostly. Yeah.
Right. Who's your coach that was helping you out when you started?
His name was Armando. I don't know what he's up to now. Honestly, I haven't
Okay.
talked to him in a while, but yeah, he's not really in the scene too
But
much. Yeah.
he just was helping you out like in terms of grinding solo queue and things like that, and then
Yeah, and
helping you
just
improve
getting
there.
like getting my priorities straight, getting me into the gym, like healthy lifestyle,
Wow.
like solo queue, and yeah, I'm really thankful for him. He got me here basically.
Okay, so it wasn't just the solo queue like hey like you should ward here or something like that. It's like more of he was really training you to be a pro
Yeah,
player in a
he
way.
was.
Wow.
Yeah, he was really helping
I
me.
say that's something that you don't even see like on in certain like NACL like orgs and things like that or things or stuff. So that's very impressive. Yeah. So shout out to your coach for getting you to here.
Yeah.
You played in your first OQ in 2023. It was a one and done split for you, but you played with some pretty like I say like experienced players at the time, like guys like
hmm
Kitsuo, and Enthralled who have been around for a while. I mean, like what was that first experience like?
Um, I feel like it was like okay, so the team was put really like last minute together. I think it was mostly me and like Debonair. We were like playing
Yeah.
together. I think I met like all the UCI people and Debonair like during like a random flex game actually. It was crazy. And then I got invited to like the server, and like I was just hanging out with them and I became really close with them. So me and Debonair were like basically like looking for a team together basically. And so like we went through like so many people's DMs, and like I remember like the night of like OQ roster submission, I think like Enthralled was like he wasn't playing, he wasn't trying to play at all. Like he was done. Like he was tired of it. And like I think like he enlisted as a sub on another team, and so we had to like DM him and DM the team, and like we had to like put him onto our team, and then like Livacious wasn't trying to play either, and like we got him to play too somehow, and then Kitsuo was like only playing if he got the other two, and it was just like it. I mean, we got it to work, so it was good. But we didn't really scrim that much because I think OQ started like a week later after we submitted the roster and everything. So I think we scrimmed maybe like 2, 3 times, and then I was like everyone was like really hyped up. We were like doing really good in scrims, and then it just didn't go to plan because I think we
Yeah.
just meant to boom really quickly. So
No, it happens. I feel like that's like the classic OQ experience. So I know that that was like that was the last time you played OQ. So I'm glad you got that experience at least once, before you rise
yeah,
up the ranks too quickly, right? So,
yeah,
um, hitting that top
it's
16
crazy.
and then dropping out after scrimming together 2 times. It seems like that's the classic
Yeah.
formula. It's impressive that you got Enthralled back out because he's all of a sudden like he's been playing a lot more now. Like he went back to OQs, went on
Yeah.
Ducky Getters. Now he's playing collegiate too. So you brought him back. You brought him back from the grave almost.
Yeah, I don't even know how I managed to do it. He was like so like locked in on not playing, and then like I guess he just fell for it. I guess.
He fell for it.
yeah,
He relapsed. Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Drop him back in. Well, after that summer, or you took part in some like combines and things like that.
Mhm.
Would you say like that was where like I feel like where do you think you made like another big jump in your play? Kind of in between there. Do you think it was during those combines, or was it sometime during the spring when you were playing in tournaments like Aegis and things like that?
Um, so if I remember correctly, we dropped out of OQs during that time, but like I think OQs kind of helped like kickstart like get my name out there, and like they're like, oh, it's like this really young support player who's like not terrible, has
Right.
potential. Yeah. So and then I played like a lot of ACL games. I think I played majority ACL actually. I think like I played ACL mostly during the splits that were like really competitive. I remember like one ACL split we had, it was like majority NACL players. I remember a team with like Isles and like Wixie and like I don't remember. It was like it was a really stacked ACL time. And then after that, I grinded a lot of solo queue during the time because I really had nothing else to do. So I just played a lot of solo queue. And I think like what really caught attention and got me to the next level was like I think I was playing like the running the Rift Combine.
Mhm.
I think there were like scouts there, like Think Card and like Empire from FlyQuest. So I was working a lot with like Think Card, like one-on-ones with Think Card, because I don't know, he was like really helpful. We worked a lot together. Like I think we water a couple times, and like he just gave me a lot of pointers and like headers for like just setting the foundation for things. So I think that's where I really started it. And then I remember like what got me onto like the sub spot for like Fly Challengers was I think Andrew Barn DM'd my friend like Mystiques. Do you know Mystiques?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's like he's a good friend of mine. He put in a good word. He's like, oh, this guy, I watch him a lot. He's potentially works hard, and he's like he can definitely make it if he gets the right resources. So I think he definitely played a big role in where I'm at now.
Wow. So some Mystiques, from one support to another, I guess, helping you out. You got the sub spot on FlyQuest Challengers for the summer split. Now, we didn't get to see you play at all because Chime played a majority of those games, but I guess from an outside perspective, it was tough to see like what it meant to be in that six-man role. So, just kind of curious, like what was your day-to-day schedule? Like, how did things go? Did you get to play scrims? Did you get to sit in on scrims? What was the experience like overall?
I sat in on like I was like 85 to 90% of the scrims. It was like really long. Like I think there were like five blocking every single day, or like 4 days a week, and then like there would go straight into matches. It was like really tiring to just sit there and just watch.
Yeah.
But I worked a lot with like Chime and like Sujad during the time. I think it was like the main two I worked with. Chime, I like just like kind of he was like I had like a lot of general questions, and like I would mod like I would just like sit there and take notes while he played. And then occasionally, I think like 30% of the time, I would say, I got to play scrims. I think at the time, I scrimmed mostly like Supernova a lot and like Fear were the two teams I scrimmed mostly.
So they
I
would put
think,
you in for certain blocks.
yeah,
Okay.
it was mostly during when like Chime was busy, because I think like a lot of times Chime was like, at the time, Chime was like busy, like with school or like moving out or stuff like that. So I got to play 30% of the scrims, and he would occasionally sit in and he would take notes from me. I think I still have the notes actually, and we would
Nice.
like afterwards we would like after like team water reviewed, we would water review together like one on one like for like a couple minutes, and like he would just give me like some general things to worry about. Mostly communication, like what I should be calling and like how I should be like what I should be saying at certain times. So he basically like improved my comms a lot.
So you say you learned a lot during solo queue, or when you're grinding a lot during the spring, and then when you're in the summer, that's when you kind of were able to hone a different part of your game, like your comms and kind of playing in that team environment. Is that
Yeah.
does that kind of sound right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think like the summer definitely helped me a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like to like just get advice from somebody like Chime, who has so much experience? Like, I feel like in my opinion was very clearly LCS caliber, but decided to take the opportunity on FlyQuest to like help a lot of people like in kind of his last year. How was that?
Yeah, I think he's really smart about the game. He was really knowledgeable. There's like a lot of things I like missed out on that I didn't see while watching, and like he kind of like I kind of asked him about it, and like he would like explain it really well, and like he would always like make sure I understood things, and like why he was doing things, and like it really did make sense at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm glad that he was able to get you that good experience. Did you? I forget. Did FlyQuest didn't end up going to the land that year, right? So you never got to meet in person, but you did get to go to Los Angeles a couple months later with SIDO. Is that correct?
Yeah. I
So
went to
so
China.
what was that experience like? Because I know you were a lot of the time kind of playing from home, playing like while you're still at school. But the whole point of SIDO, I guess, was to get you this big like in-person experience to kind of replicate what it's like in the schedule of what it's like to be a pro. So, do you feel like you got that experience compared to maybe when you were playing in the NACL?
I think it was a lot more rigorous. I think at SIDO, because I think when I was only at FlyC, like it was like really tiring, but I wasn't like actually like playing. Like I realized like when I was at SIDO, it like really like started to help me realize that like it was like five blocking and like scrimming a lot and like playing league consecutively for like the majority of the day was like it takes a toll on your body. It really does. Like it gets really tiring. But I think the experience was really great. Like I'm really thankful like Parth and like everyone was like chose me and like gave me an opportunity to go because it really did open my eye to like how like professional league is as a job and it's like not as easy as you think. Like you would think it's just like you're just playing games, it's just fun, but it's like really taxing on your body because you're playing the games. It's like you're try harding every single game, and you have reviews between every single game, and like it gets really tiring. Like just sitting there on the computer consecutively, and then even after like you would even like play solo queue and like having to try hard to solo queue as well. It's like really, it's really tiring.
Yeah, I always hear people say that like it's way more effective to play 5 games of like really intense scrims versus like
Mhm.
playing 12 hours of solo queue. Did that kind of teach you what it was like in that way?
Yeah, for sure. I
Nice.
think I think like after SIDO, I like I still like it. I became like more like determined, I guess, because I think like the split for sure. I'm like playing a lot more solo queue than I ever like have since like 2 years ago. It's when I was like 16 hitting challenger for the like in KLP for the first time. I think I'm playing just as much as I was back then, maybe even more actually. Um, but I think five. I think for sure that playing five like try hard effective games of scrims is definitely better than just sitting there grinding solo queue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly from, what the Saido Combine was like, it was 10 people and you guys like immediately got split up into like 2 teams, right? And you were
Mhm.
like scrimming each other, playing series against each other and things like that.
Yeah.
Who are you? Who were your teammates? Were you paired with Sushi or Mobility for the week?
I had so my team was Zamudo, Kryra, Dark Moon, and Sushi. I think they had Hoarder, Will, Samikin, Mobility, and Mixture. Those
Okay, cool.
teams.
So
Yeah.
they split up the Sushi mixture bot lane to
Mhm.
have a little
They
difference.
they like premeditated the teams, so like, it was like even. So uh like it was like Hoarder was like I guess like a rookie, and like Zamudo was like more experienced, and like it was like just like matching those lanes basically. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you also were at the FlyQuest Combine. Did you get to, or FlyQuest Complex there? Did you get to meet any of like the staffers that you were working with, like in the summer?
Um, I think we got to meet Whippo and like Demonte. Whippo kind of like flamed everyone. Well, not like it was like
He's got a way of
VOD
doing
review
things.
flame.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like looking at our VODs and he was like, "It's disgusting." He was like, "What are you guys doing?" He's like, "If you guys were on my team, I'll be flaming you guys." And I was like, "Yeah, I agree. It's pretty disgusting what we're doing." And like, it, he's like one of those people that like he doesn't care about how you feel. He just wants to get better together, right?
Yeah.
He wants to like everyone to get improve, but he doesn't care how anyone feels. So I feel like that's like really effective because it kind of like I was like as my like competitive experience, everyone was like some people were just too afraid to say things, or some people were just like they're saying things but they really cared about how you feel. But Whippo was just straight up. He was straightforward. He didn't care.
Yeah. That's the vibe I get from like watching his stream or like watching him on LCS or anything like that. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm glad he was able to give you that constructive feedback, and I hope it was constructive at least a little bit.
It was, yeah.
So, after Saito, you wait around for OQs and things like that, but end up getting the call from Polestar. So, how did that roster kind of end up formulating? I know that you guys are a lot of newer, younger players. Did you form a team? Did you form like a bond with Kryra because you guys are on the same Saito team to end up wanting to play together, or just end up happening?
Um, I think initially our coach Ido he wanted me on Fear, but Fear like sold their spot and like they
Right.
disbanded. So then like I guess like I got invited to Pulse trial. I don't really remember how it happened. I think I was invited to Pulse trials, and then initially it was like a different roster, but it went like some things happened, and like now we're here. I think I mainly got on the team because I think Spawn liked playing with me a lot, and I think Tenacity was he really liked the fact that like I was like really aggressive, and like I think they both liked the fact that I just didn't care, and like I think they were trying out other sports at the time, and then Spawn, Tenacity, and the Cryer, they're like, this guy doesn't care. He doesn't care about like what he looks like or like what he's doing, and so like they liked the way I played more and like how I wasn't afraid to make mistakes. And I think that's what really got me on the team. But a lot, I was DMing Cryer a lot. He was putting in the work too,
Nice.
for sure.
So being a maniac is the move if you want to get signed to an NACL team. You know what I'm saying?
To an extent, you don't want to run it down every game.
I heard Hawk. We were talking about it on the stream when we were watching the games. He said Hawk said all good support players are a little bit psychotic and are a little bit willing to just die and look really bad if it helps your team. And so that's a good mindset to have. And clearly it's ended up working out for you. Early on, like I guess scrimming with the team. How does it feel? Does it feel like you guys are the youngest team in the league, like compared to, when you were with FlyQuest, which had a lot of players with some more experience? Like, does it feel like a little bit more of like a Zoomer energy in there? I'm very curious.
For sure, I think that like everyone's like pretty young. Like I think me, Kara, same age. Shoshi's 19, Tenacity's 21, and like we got Unk Spawn. He's like 26.
Yeah, that's the old man.
Yeah, but he's really good still. At first when we were scrimming, we were still trying to figure everything out. Obviously, I think our comms were really like messed up because we were like, we have like rookie mid or not mid. Well, I guess mid too, but jungle support mainly. So like the comms were like really like they just weren't there. But I think Tenacity really helps with the comms a lot. Like he really like helps lead. Obviously, like everyone has their own part, but he really helps facilitate it for sure. And I think Spawn like he has a lot of matchup knowledge for me. So like he like tells me what to do. And I think like at first I was really like not scared, but I was like anxious to like int them, but like I just into them anyways. But I was really anxious.
These guys have played LCS before. They're gonna yell at me. They're so much older than me.
Yeah. That's basically what happened. But then like they just like got used to me inting anyways, and like they were like. I was talking to Ido about it, and I was like, dude, the Spawn guy definitely 8 I run him down every single lane. I run him down. He's like, no, it's fine. It's like he'd rather have you int now than like later. So I'm like, okay, I'll just keep inting, and then like it just.
Yeah, and then eventually the percentage of inting maybe will go down, right?
It did. It definitely did go down. Yeah.
So you're saying early on the Pulse Star scrims were even more crazy than these were here today.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think.
Because we watched some. I saw that Alistar moment under the tier 1 in game 5 to the 2. Like, that was, you're still showing off the aggression.
It was pretty chaotic. I think it was mostly. I feel like chaotic. It was chaotic, but it was mostly just like not orderly because we didn't know what we were doing just yet. But it's definitely been getting there for sure. We've definitely been doing a lot better scrims.
Yeah. Like is Spawn kind of that calming voice in the comms? Like is everyone else like telling you guys go crazy, and Spawn's like, guys, I'm at 4 items, like let's just chill for a couple of minutes as the older presence?
That's definitely him and Tenacity for sure. I'm always trying to go crazy. I'm always trying to look for things, and like they're always like, nah, we gotta get this wave first. It's more important. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. The wave should always be first. And like he's always like calling things off. He's like, I actually have to ask him if like I can go.
You gotta ask for permission.
Yeah, I gotta ask for
the hall
permission.
pass.
I actually have to ask for permission from him. So yeah, it definitely does help having them too, just like calling me off or like calling the team off in general and like telling us like what the priorities are for sure.
Now I know it's only been a couple of weeks and the season doesn't start for another 6 weeks I think or so, but just overall from early experiences against some of the other teams, like how good do you guys think you can be? What's like the play style you guys are going to try to emulate or accomplish throughout the season? And just kind of your thoughts overall about how your rookie split's gonna go.
I think for sure we're not afraid to take fights. Like if we see a fight, we're gonna take it. Obviously, like it has to be good. We're like definitely a team. I think that we're definitely like our early game and like our like the grub swapping and everything. I think we're definitely ahead of like 90% of the teams, maybe besides like Luminosity and like I guess like Dragon Steel. Like I think us and Dragon Steel and Luminosity, like we're like on top of the game right now. I think from like at least from my scrim experiences, we're like we definitely have been playing a lot better than most of the other NACL teams for sure.
So you'd power rank yourself top 3 right now, if you had to.
Yeah, but that also depends on like who, like I guess like who promotes NACL to rookies. But I think we're definitely like top 3 for sure.
What do you think about the Doublelift team after scrimming against them? I know that they're like maybe a little bit more newer in terms of playing as 5 together, but they got a lot more like game experience. Do you feel like they are going to improve a lot like as the OQ goes on, and assuming they make it in like throughout the early weeks of NACL?
I think they're definitely better than like all the OQ teams for sure.
Right.
I think there's maybe like 1 or 2 teams I think that can like be on par with them, like maybe like 1, 2, or 3 I think. I think like if they want to, I don't know because like they're like all pretty like they've had their league like careers and everything. So like I think if they want to, they can definitely learn a lot and like they definitely get better for sure.
Yeah. So, but right now you guys are ahead. You're saying. I mean, the scrim results prove it too. So.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say so.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm excited to watch this team kind of play throughout the year. I think a benefit of having a lot of rookies like yourself or even sophomores like Toasty and Kryra is that there seems to be like an endless ceiling of how high you guys can climb, how much more you guys can improve as you play through a decent chunk of games and a decent chunk of scrims. And I guess as we wrap this up, I kind of want to ask like your future plans, like, or your goals as a personal player yourself. I know you're just finishing up high school right now. Are your plans to try to take some time off and really focus on going pro right now, or is it like going to college, playing CELO, things like that? What's kind of your mindset over these next couple of years?
I think like definitely my first year of college. I think I definitely want to go to like community college or take like I guess like go like a easier route, I guess, because I definitely want to focus on league. Is definitely one of my priorities right now. I definitely want to make it into like LTA, I guess, by like next year for sure. I think I definitely can make it into LTA by next year. So I think league's definitely my priority right now. So I think I'm probably going to be taking like community college or some sort of like easy classes to like help me really focus more on league for sure. Yeah.
Any LTA supports you think you're better than right now? You can call them out on the podcast.
Oh, I don't think so.
Not yet, but at the end of the year. At the end of the year, I'll be there. Okay.
I hope so, yeah.
So LTA by the end of next year, or by the end of this year, is what we're hearing from Cryogen. Whether it's through winning the NACL and promoting, taking out Disguised, or maybe just getting a spot yourself. I mean, that's your goal right now. That's all you're looking for right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Cryogen, thank you so much for sitting down and talking. I know it's very late at night. You've played a long day, so I appreciate you taking the time to interview here. Before we let you go, any shout outs that you want to give, and where can we find you on your stream, on your Twitter, anything like that?
My Twitter is CryogenNA, same thing on my Twitch, and I want to shout out like my coach, all my teammates, and like everyone at Pulse, like really supportive, and then everyone, obviously all my like other friends I hang out with, they're really supportive, and like the Oki people I met, they're definitely there for me.
All right. Well, Cryogen, thank you so much again, and we're wishing you the best of luck and excited to watch you and Paul Star for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much to Cryogen for sitting down and talking to us. It's the first time that I've actually gotten the chance to speak to him, although technically at this point in our lives, I'm not speaking to him yet because we are recording this outro before the interview actually has taken place. But sure, he was a very good guy. Sure, we had a great conversation. And very excited to watch him play in his first ever NACL split.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, especially after the FlyQuest pickup. People have been waiting for Cryogen to sort of take the next step, and we're getting to see tastes of it already with the streamed scrims, and I'm sure he had great things to say as well. I bet you it was an incredible interview. I have no doubt.
Absolutely, yeah. And so with that, we'll be right back here on Tuesday. Also, a ton of bonus Patreon content actually coming your way this week. We're doing a lot of that recording over the next couple of days, and will be posted throughout the week and the weekend. Another episode of SIDO Office Hours, as well as a new episode of Shooting the Salt and the premiere of Semi-Pro POV as well. So a lot of really cool stuff on the way. Make sure you tune in, subscribe using the link below, /Salty Runback NA, because you are going to really enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you didn't like what Cryogen said about that controversial thing where he trash talked
right
Biofrost, you can take what we said with a grain of salt. Definitely make sure to subscribe to the Patreon at Salty Runback NA. We're kicking off all of our new shows this week. You've also should follow us everywhere at Salty Runback NA, including our Twitch channel if we do any more stream scrims. Us at Hawkcast, at Speedy Grapes. Make sure you join the Discord for the watch parties. And have a great night.